decided to take a nap. We kind of split up the party a little bit, taking said nap, but we all lived, and then the group kind of broke down into a nice RP session where we all argued about Ophira's role in the party and how we believe that she will try to kill us at the drop of a hat if we are not careful and watch our own back. Eventually, Ophira storms outside. We think leaves, but she's just kind of chilling, cooling off. And we all kind of mutually decide that, it's not that we don't want her around. We much appreciate her presence and her abilities, but we definitely need to make sure that everyone's on the same page and can be held accountable for their actions, and will be there to protect everyone else, as other people have done in past adventures and shady situations with other vampires and monsters alike. So, and now we're traveling again.
Not quite, I don't think.
We're getting ready to travel again.
Where are you traveling to?
Where are we traveling to? I want to say we are going to put my map here, maybe. Oh. We are at Argenvasholt, correct?
Yes, you are. Yep.
I believe we are going to go. Was it? I think it was Berez.
Nope.
Is it the Lackey?
Nope.
Crest? I don't know.
It's okay.
That direction.
You've missed a couple of details that are relevant. Who can help him out?
Well,
likes to
go
bury
ahead.
himself. Johan likes to bury himself.
Wait, what was that?
Johan apparently likes to bury himself.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Johan also found a gift on top of his self-imposed grave.
It's the raven with the amber in its mouth, and he also used the dream spell to try and find a way to help his wife with her withdrawals.
Yes. A very lovely dream, if I recall.
Strahd also paid a visit to Ophira.
Yes.
But
yes.
none of us know that, though.
Nope. You all made sure that you were nice, comfy, and cozy inside your glass-domed, silent hut.
Yep.
You guys
Right
also...
now,
Go ahead, Don.
Right now, Ophira is split away from the party. We don't actually know where she's at.
She's outside just the doors.
Walk out. Yeah, we just saw her walk out the door. We don't know where she's at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we were going to head to the mountains to the south.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Do you remember why you were going there?
I believe I was given direction from Lathander himself through a dream to go that way. And I think, didn't the amber kind of point us there too, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah,
and yes, Lakhtari also made some delicious food for everybody with some enthusiastic cooking skills with some rats that he found.
That damn rat this side of the Pecos.
Why don't you go ahead and say something, Phil? No, can't hear you. You're lighting up, but we're not hearing anything. Still not hearing anything.
Testing.
There you go.
There you
now
go.
we hear you.
Yeah, I was trying to say that. I was like, I know where she's at. And Mace just kept talking. I'm like, God damn it.
That Mace guy's a real dick. He just walks right past me.
Yeah, when Lakhtari speaks, Mace doesn't listen for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Yes. You guys also had a couple other characters with you. There was the woman that you saved from the hut and Baba Yaga, who you nursed back to meager health. And Johann messaged the sister who came to collect her. And they gave you a little bit of direction on where to also go to try and seek out some answers. Yes, also warm clothes. Ophira made herself a very lovely cloak. And I think you guys made cloaks for yourselves as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Aresis made cloaks for everybody.
There we go. Which I'm definitely pleased that you did make, because otherwise this was going to be a very short session.
And right now, Mace is actually doing his fashion runway walk with his new cloak.
He's got a sachet to his sleigh.
Yeah, he's just to see if everybody, likes the way it looks.
All right. Okay, I think that pretty much covers most of everything. I'm just trying to think. I don't believe. So I know, Mace, you had an overnight dream. Ophira had a nighttime encounter. Johann spent some time with his wife in the dreams. And Rhaegar, you didn't have anything. Mace had his thing. And Ophira didn't have any dreams either. And I don't think Lokhtari... Oh yeah, Lokhtari slept on his own as well, but he woke up just to find Johann literally crawling out of a grave.
I went and pooped on his grave too, by the way.
I did hear that was canon.
When you're digging yourself out, you gotta be careful where you're grabbing there.
He can't smell, so I don't even know if he has the sense of touch really all that well. So
Okay, let's for our question. Where are you? Okay, there he is. So, in every story, people tend to describe themselves or identify themselves as the hero in the story. How do you know you are not the villain?
Johann knows he's not the villain because he was a villain at one point, and he doesn't feel like he's there anymore.
Knows what it was like to be a villain. That was pretty quick. You'd usually take more time than that. Nice.
Mace knows he's not a villain because Lathander says he's not a villain.
And whatever Lathander says must be true, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's sketchy.
Lathander says so.
That's right.
I'd say I don't know if I am or am not a villain. I just try to do what I feel is right.
Okay.
Because you're right. If you were a German soldier, right, then
Yeah.
the Germans weren't the bad guys.
Yeah, for a lot of them, yeah. Tries to do what he thinks is right.
I guess the victor determines who's the villain, right?
The victor? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The victor determines who's the villain. So I guess I'd say for my character, I wouldn't put too much credence into that. I would just try to do what's right.
Okay.
Victor who?
Ophira, I see you as well. I'll just copy and paste that. That she doesn't, but she does know that Strahd is the bigger villain. I don't, but there's a bigger villain in Strahd. Okay. Still got. Oh, go ahead.
Rhaegar Rhaegar knows that he's not the villain because of his uh his conviction, his faith, and his compassion.
So he knows he's not the villain because he believes he's not the villain.
Yeah. He's a simple guy.
That's fine. So I will put in brackets though, he doesn't know.
That's fair.
Oresis?
What a tough question. I mean, Aresis personally knows, like, because he was raised by two loving parents who fought in a war, believes in this case that he is not the villain. But to the point of Lokhtari, the victors write the tales, so maybe he is a villain because he's the only one that seems to have a major problem with all the craziness going on here, and he's the only one that thinks that Strahd really needs to go. Everyone else doesn't. They don't want Strahd around, but no one seems to be doing anything about it at the same time.
Did you forget
So,
the entire thing Ophira did?
well, I mean, other than Ophira, but I mean, she is not in the majority. And I mean, Aresis has not really held his blade back too much for anybody. I mean, he's blown up mobs of people who are just scared innocents potentially, and an attempt to try to make something better of this world, and has even said if it takes erasing the entirety of this plane of existence that to make things right, that's what it's going to take. So there is some chaotic evilness to him, I guess. It's not necessarily malicious, it's just the reality of it.
Okay. Because I can't fit all of that into a couple of sentences, I'm going to put down he's not sure. Maybe he is chaotic, but now he's questioning. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. But wants to get rid of Strahd. Rid of Strahd. That must be good. Right?
Yeah. Question mark.
All right. Mace, you keep telling yourself that. You keep telling yourself that, because the alternative would be pretty damn scary, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
So,
Scary or
Johans,
surprising.
what are you saying that? You're saying that in character, but can you put context to when you're saying that? Sorry.
Well, everyone is here talking about where we're going to go, and I think we all agree. I think we all agree that eventually we will go to the south, to the mountains. However, if we wish, if I wish to ensure that my wife remains living for the time that we come back, the town of Kresk, when I went there, they asked for some boons from us. Help with their walls to ensure that the wolves do not get in, and food. Survive the winter. The refugees from Balaki have, I'm guessing, gone to Kresk for succor. They were already out of food before those unfortunates came. It could be a matter of days before they run out of food. There's plenty of water, He gestures to the rain outside. But food is not so easily found. Not in the winter.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Valaki that we got ran out of town of, not Kresk, right?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Hubble
Wanted
is
to make
in
sure.
Kresk.
That's right.
Then we must go lend our support and help them.
What if we used this place as sort of a gathering place for refugees? Nobody's using it currently, besides us, anyway. Lots of space. Sure, it needs work, but there are defensible options here. And there is that light. If we gathered enough people here, it could be sort of a bastion of hope. Maybe spread the word around. Maybe that could be a way that we could help some of the people who need it by bringing them together.
Well, I don't know how much food we can really gather for them, but we can at least help them by helping mend their walls and maybe teaching them how to hunt and find what food maybe Ophira could help, with plants and what plant life can be used as food if they don't know. We should definitely do something.
Where is Morgantha at this point? We need to find her and finish her once and for all. We've been saying this for a while now, but I'd like to make it true.
If she was on this plane of existence, then I would know where she is.
So, Johan, because with that question, I know that you would try to get a feel for where she is. And as Oresis asks that question, you do, let me just make sure where you are. Okay, so you're at Argenvostolt. You sense her in the westerly direction. And remind me, do you also have the distance on that, or just direction?
If we look at...
It's a Revenant, right?
Yeah, I'll go to the Revenant.
I think he had some semblance of distance.
I mean...
I'll check for you, don't worry. Give me 1 second, I got it right here.
Vengeful Tracker. The Revenant knows the distance and direction
Okay,
of
perfect.
any creature.
Okay. So, she would be as the raven flies, approximately 3 to 4 miles to your west-west-south.
A little bit out of the way.
Johan will point that out.
Well, to track her down would be a little out of the way, but 3 to 4 miles, we could possibly still make it to Crest by nightfall.
But do you have any way to pin her down? She sees us, she'll just run.
Well, could always be a crab, but that necessarily wouldn't pin her
Crab.
down. If I can get within 500 feet, I could always grab her at this point.
Eh,
I've also got.
I don't know how much of a threat she poses without her coven. I
She's
think
gonna
we have
remake it.
bought ourselves a little time to help Kresk first. It will take at least days, if not weeks, for her to rebuild a coven, I would think.
But imagine being the parents of that girl that gets taken and turned into one of those wretched hags.
Yeah, plus all the witches we had to deal with last time, too.
Well, it sounds like the closest place that there are human habitation to her would be Kresk. So if she's going to try to find young girls to fill her coven, it would probably be there, would you not think?
Well, I
She
think we
might
are.
come to us.
I think
She's
she's
in the
gonna
wrong
avoid us at all
direction.
costs. She couldn't beat us with a coven. She's not stupid. She's not gonna fight us without a coven again.
What's that check for, Johan?
Just to see if he's able to resist. I guess that might be charisma, the desire to go and kill her.
I would make that a wisdom because it's more along the lines of like your will. But charisma, you can make an argument for either or, and I'd be happy with either or. You rolled a 24, even without your modifier, that'd be a 19. So you're not a slave to your desires, so I'll accept that. You definitely want to kill her. She is still the focus of so much pain and anger for you. But you're able to be intelligent about your actions. What are
No
you doing,
problem.
Ophira? Or was that a mistake?
That was a mistake.
Okay, no problem.
We know Pavel's in Kresk, and we know he has some abilities. I mean, it's possible he can even find them food, gather them food, create them food.
You, I guess,
We
all
only
did see him make food.
Yeah, I mean, we only saw a small part of his abilities, but that doesn't mean he can't do anything bigger than what we've seen. And I believe, strategically speaking, from a military standpoint, we need to strike while the iron's hot and finally do this world some justice and rid of this terrible, terrible hag. And maybe when she is gone for good, Johan's wife is also free from her madness as well.
Well, if we are going to go after her, then we need to try to figure out a way that we can sneak up on her, because she is definitely going to be on her guard.
Yes. But I don't know, do we have a sense of how? We know she can leave this plane of existence. We don't know how many times she can do that in a row. Yes.
Ophira's not with you right now, right?
Right.
She's outside. Okay.
Let's get Ophira and maybe we'll see what she thinks. Don't want to make decisions without the whole group together.
what would I have to roll to see what I know about night hags in general?
That would
Being a
be
monster hunter.
an intelligence check.
Oh crap!
You're good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll help you. I'll aid you in that with my infinite knowledge and intelligence.
Oh,
And also, I mean, we saw how long it took her to replace the one hag that we killed.
That's about right. Never mind. I had a good idea, but Rhaegar doesn't.
They're doing sign language. I'm like, Rhaegar, what are you doing?
It's that meme where they're doing, like, the lady's doing the calculations in her head.
Yeah. The answer is ducks. It's always ducks. I am confident in my ability if we get within 60 feet of her, or even 120 feet of her, to stop her from vanishing. And I believe in our ability to stay stealthy if Ophira is on board. Maybe we could even, hate to say it, break into a stealth group who goes ahead and tries to capture her, and then a team firestorm, if you will, and who comes in with like thunderous wave and brings the pain.
Do you not think she'd be able to see through a stealth?
Well, this is her at her weakest point. We've never seen it. I'm unsure what exactly she can see through at all at this point.
If we can
I mean-
get within 500 feet of her, then I can bring one of you.
I can as
Immediately,
well bring an additional one. So that's 4 of us.
but you would not know exactly where to go without being able to see her.
It's a risk I would take. Can you bring the crab? You could bring me and then I could turn into a crab.
So
Crap.
we have something I want to do.
I mean, is Ophira staying outside, or is she going to come back in to join the group?
It has to be a medium or smaller size.
You'd have to be transforming once we arrive at the doorstep.
Problem is that's one turn later, right? She could just move out.
I could hold my action to do it. Although I probably, honestly, I would just turn Johan and then I would just prep a counter spell. Yeah. So that's a reaction.
So basically,
That would stop her from.
something has been bugging Ophira for a bit. And it was what that person said, that I smell like straw, and I'm remembering that wound on my hand now. I had cast plant growth all over this front area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bend down and ask the plants if someone came here last night.
Speak with plants. Limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands. You can question them about events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about creatures that have passed, weather, and other circumstances. Okay.
Basically just asked them, did anyone come through here last night?
Yes.
Who was it?
The Lord. The Lord came. Oh, Mother, the Lord, he came. He tread upon my leaves. I can't believe it. My leaves.
I'm gonna stop listening to these plants.
You see them all kind of like lift their leaves up a little bit in the air, almost as if they're praising to the sky.
What plants I make. Then I'm just gonna go back over here and just wait for indecisive people inside to finally make a decision.
All right.
If we are going after Morgantha, let's be off and be done with it. The bio creature needs to die.
Also,
I agree.
If you're able
Agreed.
to get in close, I might be able to stun her.
I know I won't be sneaking up on anyone, so I'll have to be in the back.
Is there some sort of sorcery or spell that would stop her from shifting planes? Um, like a silent spell or something? Or
I can dispel magic if I'm close enough.
See how her magic works.
I have a
Is it
counter
just
spell
an?
ability, but it's not a guarantee. It's a roll
I
of the
wish I could
dice, if you will.
I wish I could remember if it was just an innate ability that she has, or if it's an actual spell.
Remember, if I can get close, I can interfere with her Kai in her body and stun her.
Yes, that was very useful
Seems to be the
during
best
the last
option.
battle.
Okay, let me read this spell. I might have a question for you, Eric.
Go ahead.
So, Wall of Force, right? I can create a hemispherical dome with a radius of 10 feet. And it says it can't be dispelled by magic. I guess it blocks ethereal travel. So, I just turn to the group and I say, I have this new ability. I can create a barrier of force around her, and she will not be able to leave this plane.
Well, no. So just to clarify, the wall extends into the ethereal plane. It does not block someone from entering the ethereal plane. So
Right,
you would
but we know she
basically
can't
lock
get
her
out.
between two dimensions, but she would still be within that wall. So she could still go into the ethereal plane, and unless you have a way to chase her to the ethereal plane, she would basically just have to wait.
Johan says, I could step after her, but it is fairly unreliable, my ability to go into the ethereal realm.
I know this spell lasts 10 minutes.
Ophira, roll a perception check for me.
Alright. Also, I don't know why, for some reason, my Discord's really quiet, so I've been constantly having to turn you guys up.
Okay.
Oh no.
Is that how tonight's gonna go?
You may all continue with your conversation.
Get him out now.
All right. I think it's been decided. We can discuss more strategy, but let's grab the rest of the group and let's start heading towards our target.
All right.
Okay, so you guys are all gathering together. I believe you still have your horses and a cart. So far, nothing has happened to it, to the best of my recollection.
Is what I recall as well.
All right. As you step outside, the cold, wet wind is far less piercing and biting than it had been on previous days. The cloaks that you had made certainly insulate you from the elements. Ophira, you see the rest of the group finally step outside the castle. The rest of you see Ophira kind of just standing in front of the dragon statue, the pale light of the beacon overhead casting a contrast across her face. She is the element of many of your concerns, but she is still here. Ophira, you see the rest of them slowly start to gather their things into the cart. To the best of my knowledge, no one has spoken to you, no one has said anything to you, they're just getting ready to leave.
I don't know, Lakhtari just ran up to me.
Lakhtari is making sure that you enjoyed your breakfast.
I would be like, we're gonna go chase the hag if you want to come along.
Strahd was here.
Say it again. I couldn't hear you.
Strahd was here.
I believe Strahd's everywhere.
He was here last night.
I don't doubt that. He evidently has interest in us, so I've assumed every night he'd be watching over us, which is why I wasn't concerned about sleeping on my own. I have the mindset that if he wanted to do away with me, he would, and he's watching us. So I don't concern myself with something that's going to do that. But I do know that the hag is something that we can deal with that is damaging this land. And if you choose to come with us, then we could deal with the hag as well. We could definitely use your help.
I don't think you're taking this as seriously as you could be.
I don't try to fight the hurricane. I just try to survive it. If it's gonna come, it's just gonna come. I deal with the things I can deal with, and the hag is something I know I can deal with. I don't think I can deal with Strahd at this point.
The fact that you see it as a hurricane is the problem.
Maybe. I don't have much knowledge of this place. I haven't been here that long. Where I came from, none of this was really a real thing. Got thrown in here.
Fourth time's the charm, that's what they say.
Well, you could definitely do good for this place by getting rid of this hag. Hag is destroying families by taking small children. You could definitely use your help if you choose to come along.
We'll see how the rest of them feel about it.
With that, I back here, I guess tell the rest of the group that Ophira is, I'm assuming, reluctantly willing to come along with us.
All right. Who?
Rhaegar's gonna go over to Ophira. And he's going to say, Ophira, I see that you haven't left. Does that mean that you are willing to stay and be a part of this party? Be a comrade?
I'm going to do whatever I can to get what I want, or I will die trying. If that means traveling with you, so be it. If that is something you can't accept, so be it.
Listen, we need your help. We can't do this by ourselves. And I think that you also need our help, or you would have left already. Lakhtari, wait, did you say that she said that Strahd came last night?
I didn't know Ophira said Strahd came last night.
Okay, so you
I
didn't
just,
tell
I
Rhaegar,
just
so
said
he
that it
didn't.
doesn't.
He does not know that. Okay.
Yeah, I just said it doesn't surprise me because Strahd is obviously interested in us, and I expected him. That's the reason I slept on my own, was because
Okay.
I expect him to be here every night. If he wants to kill me, he probably would, and there's really no reason to, end myself
I
out of
was
shape
gonna-
or something I have no control over.
I was gonna say something about that to her, but Rhaegar does not know that he showed up last night. So, okay. But anyway. Ophir, we need your help. And I, for one, want to trust you. We've been through too much together not to. But some things have happened that have concerned some of us. And we just wanted to let you know that. We didn't want to chase you off. We didn't want to alienate you. We just wanted to voice our concerns about it and discuss it.
You will have my help for as long as our goals are aligned. But I cannot give you what you want when I can't even trust myself. He was here, Rhaegar. And you
Who?
heard what they said. His scent was all over me, no one else. Don't know if my own actions are my own at this point.
The devil. God, he was here.
Yes, he was here last night.
How do you know this? Did he visit you?
I don't know. He may move about this land as if it's his own, but that doesn't stop the land from telling me where he's been.
All the more reason for us to stay together. And for us, we're stronger together, Ophira.
Not if he's controlling me.
If he is controlling you, then wouldn't the safest place for you to be with us, where if you do something, we can stop you?
Don't know.
Or at least try to?
I will go with you and I will help you, but understand I cannot trust you.
Hopefully, one day you will. Come. We have work to do. There's still a hag in this land. We must kill her before she makes her coven anew. And the nightmare begins again.
Running as fast as we can just to stay in place.
Sometimes it seems that way. But what else can we do? And Rhaegar goes off to help Mace get the cart ready.
By this time, what are you looking for, Mace?
Just wanted to know if I could hear any of their conversation.
I would say yes. I don't think they were trying to keep their voices down, and you were all in James' general proximity.
It's not even 30 feet.
Yeah, I'd say you overheard them. Yeah, so you did overhear the conversation, and you did certainly overhear her mention that Strahd was here last night, or at least was here. Yeah, last night.
Okay. He's definitely pretending not to pay attention.
Not good at it. Mace is never good at that stuff.
No, he's not. He thinks he is, but he's not really.
A little
I
deception.
picture you like leaning your head,
Why
like
don't we
leaning your
leave
head
it?
that way.
Why don't we leave it to the dice and do a performance? See, he's not good at it.
Oh my god.
You're like sidestepping while you're leaning your ear towards him.
Right. I'm leaning my head right towards him as I'm
He
pretending to
literally
move things
slips
around.
in the mud as he's like leaning over to try and like sneak in on you, and like he falls in the mud, and you all like just kind of turn to look at him while he falls into the mud.
I've been watching him, so
I'm just looking at him with just.
It's slippery. It must have rained last night.
I'm just sitting there looking at. I'm looking at him chuckling.
I'm just looking with this tired disappointment.
I'm sure they didn't notice I was listening. I'm sure they didn't.
All right. With that, are you all getting into your cart? Does anyone else want to respond to what they've overheard from Ophira?
Seriously, jeez.
Okay. With that, I will assume that you all start climbing into the cart. Ophira, are you joining them?
I will be walking alongside the cart, but one thing I wanted to ask. Having the natural explorer for forest, swamp, and mountain,
Yeah.
those effects are when you're in there for an hour or more. Would that having to be there an hour reset every time the terrain changes, or would it just carry over? Like, if
Let me
we're
take
going
a
through a forest for an hour and then we hit swamps, would I have to be there an hour before the benefits restart?
Let me take a look at the feature. All right, Natural Explorer.
Because I got it for all three of them, and it's the three environments that
Yep.
are Barovia.
Okay. You're familiar with the type of environment. Intelligence check. When you're traveling for an hour or more in your favored terrain,
And
you gain the following benefits.
Since basically I have all three terrains of
Yeah.
Barovia as my favorite terrain,
Yeah.
basically always be in favored terrain.
You will be in your favored terrain, but to gain the benefits, since you're still changing terrain to terrain, it still takes you time to get accustomed to the terrain when you enter it.
My favorite terrain is Barovia, which is the most ironic statement ever.
So yeah, like you would still need an hour of traveling within the terrain,
So,
but
when we leave the forest and enter a mountain, it's another hour before we get the benefits.
yeah. But you know what?
Basically,
I'm willing to cut that down to a half hour, because like you really are seamless practically with everywhere in Barovia, and so I'll say like, well, we can cut it down to a half hour.
Alright, so there will basically be a half hour every time we go into a new terrain where we might get lost, guys.
Favorite terrain, Barovia.
If you weren't here, we'd be lost anyway, so okay.
Yeah, you're already lost anyways.
Okay.
We are all lost here.
You all, or most of you, get into the carriage. Ophira's fox walks along beside her, and you set off down the road. Johann keeps his eyes closed. Most of you would wonder if he's even breathing or alive, since he doesn't breathe. But he gives a little twitch of his eyes every so often. Johann, give me a D20 with advantage.
Favorite terrain, Barovia. That seems OP.
She got 3 favored terrains. 16, 12. Okay. Go ahead, Papa Don. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, it's all right. Johann, sit up here up front with me so that you can lead me in the right direction.
He's currently not plugged into his senses, so I don't know if he can hear you or not.
You can. You don't switch your senses.
I believe if
I
you're
don't
looking
think.
for your familiars, you're blind and deaf to your own surroundings.
Well, the thing is, though, it's not the norm. Oh, wait, each familiar uses the same rules and options for familiar conjure. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, so
They
he can't hear you.
Okay.
He just
Okay.
seemingly ignores you.
Let's see if I could explain what he's doing, since I have a similar ability with beast sense. See if I can recognize it.
Johann,
No, I don't.
Johann, can you hear me? What is wrong with Johann? Well, Thunder's light. I don't know where to go.
I think that eventually, after he's scouted the terrain, ahead enough, that he will eventually open up his eyes and give direction.
How much time would you say you'd want to be scouting ahead?
He'll probably. I'm guessing that he would anticipate that something like this would happen. Here, let's just go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
Okay.
Mace would know the general direction since he told us west, southwest.
So he'll keep one of the birds kind of overlooking the cart and guide them from a third person perspective.
I don't think any of them knows that you
Yeah.
did that with your ravens, though. From their perspective, you just kind of sat down in the cart and closed your eyes.
So what I'm saying is that he would explain the situation.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah. You are blind and deaf to your own surroundings, but you technically can still talk.
That's true. Okay.
And if you have a bird close enough to hear what people in the cart are saying.
That's reasonable. Okay. So with a little bit of squawking, Mace, Johann says to you what he's doing and the direction to travel in.
Ah, okay. Let's go this direction, and he will follow the squawking.
So how quickly are you moving along the road? Ophira's walking beside you, so
Yeah,
right now
I
it's a
mean,
walking pace.
She's probably going at a brisk walk to keep pace.
It's her favorite terrain, which I think means that she can
Right.
travel quite quickly through it.
I mean, we're not going to run these horses to death, but, we're going to kind of trot them along. So we don't want to take too much time and lose too much daylight, because we still, I think, as far as Mace knows, want to try and still make crest tonight.
Yeah, the average traveling pace of a carriage at a normal pace is the same as your walking pace. The benefit is that you don't have to walk.
Right.
Yeah. Knowing your experience in the past, it's only going to take you like an hour to get to Kretsk. And you guys have spent a good deal of the morning kind of chatting, but it's still the morning time. I'd say it's maybe around 10 a.m.
Are we going after Morgantha first, or the...
Yes.
Okay, so we're going after Morgantha first.
Okay. So you're traveling... So how shall I put this? Johann is keeping an eye on the ravens, getting a feel for Morgantha, keeping her in his senses. You guys travel along the road, and let's switch over to the map of Barovia, just so that we all have it in front of us together. Okay. So you travel along the road, and with the perception of the ravens, like you guys are able to have a very good look ahead of anything that might be happening. You make sure here. Okay. As you come to the bridge and you get to your regular crossroads, you Johan, you feel the sense of Morgantha down the road to your left, past the Wizards of Wine, more towards the direction of where you guys had that big battle on Yester Hill.
The Wicker Man.
About an hour of time has passed, and the ravens are keeping about still 1 mile ahead of you.
Okay, so the spell is about to fade.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How far have we traveled? About? Are we close?
So you guys, you're at the bridge right here, right now. And you feel her kind of in like this space where I'm pinging.
I'll renew the spell.
Okay.
Since I've been in here for an hour, I'd still be alert to danger because of Natural Explorer, but I'm just going to be foraging for anything that might be useful as well.
Okay. Roll a survival with advantage for me. And is there anything like specific that you're looking for, Ophira?
Let me just check something real quick. Mostly because it is getting cold a lot. Dry tinder that can be used for fire starting. Any possible like winter berry bushes.
Okay, sure.
Can I use one of my birds to give him an advantage on that?
I got an advantage for Natural Explorer, I believe.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, she's already got advantage. Okay. You find a birch bark tree that's fallen down in the forest. The bottom of the tree is quite wet, but the top half of the tree is still dry. And you're able to take one of your daggers and slice a very large sheet of birch bark. You know that this piece of birch bark could carry you, or for fire purposes, gosh, for weeks. If you separate all the fibers from it, it could last you a very, very long time. It's very pristine. You could almost use it as like a scroll.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice find for making fires. She does not find any grubs, because the grubs, if there were any, they don't really live in trees like that.
Grubs would be buried right now for the winter.
Yeah, or they'd be inside like a living meat animal. They don't usually go into trees like that. Okay, so you guys, are you all heading down the path towards Wizards of Wine?
Yeah. I guess we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way the wind blows.
All right.
I'm back.
Let me make some adjustments here. Where are you?
Yeah, I need to put myself.
It's like, whoa.
What?
Let's say which area are we in? We're over here on this.
I'm
Be over
back.
Over where my token is.
On
Yeah,
this road.
over there.
This is the winery. That here is Yester Hill, where I got hit by lightning.
Eric, there's been like an hour, right? So if I'm just in the cart, I could have taken the time to use my arcane recovery ability to regain my 3rd level slot I used earlier.
If you're taking a short rest.
Yeah.
Sweet. Doing that.
Yeah, if you're just chilling in the cart, yeah.
I need all my spells, so.
While you're doing that, because I'm doing something else, Willow is just sitting across from you, just staring at you.
If I'm concentrating on that spell, I don't get a short rest, right?
That's correct, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see a fox,
Uh,
shoot it.
You want to shoot your fox?
roll a perception or survival check, Mace.
I'm just like, That's the most obvious bit of wildlife you see.
Okay. You do see. You can just barely catch a glimpse of some wolves kind of sifting through the forests as you're going through. You see a couple of ravens sitting on branches as you go by past. You haven't seen any squirrels, you haven't really seen any rabbits.
Wolves be good eating. It's hard to take down.
Oh, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Carnivores.
I'm gonna take a shot at one of the wolves with my crossbow.
All right. Are you stopping the cart? Or are you letting the cart continue to move?
It's gonna be moving slowly, but I'm gonna try to take a shot at one.
All right. Are you doing this one-handed then? Or are you keeping your hands on the Jessies?
I will. Let's see who's up front with me. Just Johan. Johan's still in the back of the cart.
Yeah.
Is anybody up front with me?
I'm
I
in front of the cart.
I'll grab up
I'm
with you, Mace.
usually sitting in front with Mace, but if you
Okay,
want to be
I'm
up
in.
front, that's cool.
No,
I
no,
will.
go ahead. I'm good.
I will hand the reins to whoever is sitting beside me, and I'm going to lift my crossbow to take a shot.
Okay.
Go
there
ahead.
you go.
Does
Go
this-
ahead and roll an attack.
Does this trigger my ranger?
And missed miserably.
My ranger spidey sense to danger goes off. Oh no, my party's being idiots.
Ophira, you've been aware of these wolves for a while as well. You know that they've been out there. And you see Mace's crossbow bolt go way off course, bounce off a tree, hit another tree, and just kind of clatters off into the woods. The wolves kind of move off deeper into the forest.
Get over my tour guide intercom. Please refrain from shooting at the wolves.
Oh, he almost had that one. And
I thought
hand the
maybe
reins
if
back.
we could kill some things and gather them, we can take them to Kresk to help for food.
And the pelts. I thought hunting wolves would be a good idea.
What exactly are most Barovians' thoughts on eating wolf?
I don't know.
If they're
Matthew,
hungry.
as a player.
Not really risky, but it's good food. It's good meat, but they're known to be like Strahds. So you're kind of flirting with fire, but at the same time, it's like, well, a single mosquito biting a giant probably won't draw any attention unless you get slapped.
There's just that 1% chance you get slapped, though.
All right. The rain continues to come down. Again, the road kind of transforms away from an actual road to more of like a muddy path. You pass by. I'm sorry, was that Encyclo?
Don't worry, we won't be slowed down by it.
You pass by the campsite, both where you had met originally the group of Ravenkind, as well as the campsite where you believe Pavel's family was abducted. The bloodstains on the stones long since washed away. As you travel closer to the farm, Johan, the ravens are flying overhead, and there's substantial overgrowth around the farm. There's very, very large roots, grotesquely large grapes, and it doesn't look like there's anyone actually living there right now. There's a lot of overgrowth, like much more than when you guys last left there after Ophira cast her plant growth spell. I'd hesitate to call it like a maze, but it's just large vines everywhere. And the house itself doesn't seem like the chimney is not lit. You're not seeing any smoke coming out of it. You don't see any other ravens, and the grapevine trees that had the grapes for the wine, they've got grapes, but again, they're kind of like grotesquely large
Put it on there.
everywhere.
I'll like cut one open, see if it's like putrid inside.
Just to clarify, so Johann saw this before you guys get there, because his ravens are up ahead.
That's fair.
Do you say or do anything, Johann? Okay. So Johann tells the rest of you what he sees. Do you all continue?
If that's the way he's pointing us, then yes, we are on a mission.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You continue down. And just need to make sure of something. Just pull this open here.
Johann, can you answer me now? How far away is she? We don't want to give away our position if we're getting close.
She remains approximately in the same area around here. So she's still about, give me a second here. Need to make an adjustment. There we go. Yeah, she's still about 3 or 4 miles away. Yeah, 3, 4, I'd say 3 to 5 miles away. Okay, so Johann does tell the rest of you that he thinks you should stay away from the Wizards of Wine, and that he feels that what he's seeing, based on what you guys saw and experienced in Berez, that it may have been over-influenced by the, right, because Johann saw, by the entity that Ophira had made a pact with, Ophira's god. So if you guys did want to avoid it, you probably would have to go a little bit more into the forest to truly circumnavigate the farm. You'd have to stop the cart and go on foot.
Leaving our horses here with all the wolves is probably a death sentence.
Yes.
Well, could Ophira guarantee us safe passage?
You'd have to ask her.
Ophira, if we were to traverse past this farm, would it be safe?
I don't know.
Is there a way that you could commune with the flora of this area and perhaps ask if passage would be possible for us as well as yourself?
I would have to be closer. I will say,
Is that
like, personally, she knows that, like, the land is not gonna ever, like, hinder her. Because, like,
Yeah.
that and also natural explorer, so, like,
Yeah.
it's never gonna hinder her, but
oh yeah. Rhaegar pretty much figures that that's the case, but he's more worried about himself
The thing is,
and the rest of the party.
she's
Yeah.
gonna talk to that flora, like it's a 30-foot range.
She'd have to be on top of it.
In the meantime, Mace is still driving the cart down the path.
Well, Johann did tell you to maybe stay away from the Wizards of Wine.
Right. But he knows he can't take the cart into the woods, so...
Okay.
Do we park the cart here and go on foot from here? Or what is everyone's suggestion? I don't know.
Well, regardless of what we do, I think we should park the cart for right now, because I think we need either Ophira needs to ask if it's okay for us to go through, or we need to park the cart and go around.
And he'll stop the cart with that and wait for everyone's answer.
We need to keep pushing on. I don't know why we're afraid of the land. We have Ophira with us.
Because that worked out so well last time.
That was a different circumstance.
Not so very different. But,
This
okay, well,
territory belongs to Ophira's god currently. We will have to get permission to go through.
but it might be okay as long as she's with us and she goes first and...
If we trespass and her god orders her to attack us, then I have no doubt that she will be compelled to do so.
I'm just gonna sit down and try to contact him to say that we are going through the Wizard of Wines to clear out a enemy of the land, Morgantha.
Roll a religion for me.
Yeah, that's a skill.
You don't experience any response. You do feel you've been pumped full of power, but it doesn't respond to you. You roll an insight. You kind of get the impression that anything that would garner its support, maybe, non-aggression treaty would require some form of proof, some form of sacrifice, some form of more than just a, hey, we're going to help you out, don't hurt us.
If you want safe passage, you're going to have to prove it.
And you think back, Ophira, to when you held the Golthias tree branch and it had its roots into you and it drank your blood. And in a kind of flash of insight, you kind of get the impression that that might work if they gave up blood. Maybe.
Do you want safe passage?
It would be preferable to leaving the cart, yes.
Come here. This might work.
Okay, Rhaegar gets down off the cart and goes up to her.
I'm gonna hold my hand out for your hand.
Now, before you do this, just to be clear, where exactly are you guys? Are you at like basically the farm and you're at the plants, or are you like still on the road?
At the border to the territory, to the identified territory.
Okay, so you're on the cusp. Okay, you're within like 30 feet of that space. Okay. Go ahead.
gonna get you a little bit closer and then cut your hand.
Aresis, do you think you could refrain from burning down any vegetation for a while?
Um, I just kind of look at you, and I look at my hands. I look at you, and then I look at my flint and steel, and I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Do we all need to cut our hands like this?
So you slice his hand, and blood starts to pour down it. It drips onto the ground, and you do notice that like the blades of grass kind of move toward the blood, but what you notice more in the thicket in front of you, these long 2-inch thorns almost kind of coalesce into this maw, and they seem to be trying to work their way. It's like they're a mouth that's almost kind of closing towards you.
I will direct his bleeding hand to that maw.
Mm,
Do you let her, Rhaegar?
okay. Yes.
Okay. The thorns, like a Venus flytrap, but with think of a lamprey. Imagine a lamprey mouth, and
God.
if you haven't, let me just find you a nice lamprey picture.
Oh, I know what a
Just
lamprey
so
looks
that
like.
you all know exactly what you're getting into.
I know what a
Oh,
lamprey fucking
here's
looks
a good
like.
picture. I'm just gonna copy this link, make
You
sure
see-
to post
You
it.
see
Damn it.
Altair blood falling from
I know
Overlord.
what a goddamn lamprey looks like.
Now, does this work? Yes. Oh, it's kind of okay. That's not the best. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Okay. So this lamprey-like mouth just kind of closes on your hand and from all directions starts to bite into the skin of your hand, and it starts to suck. And you actually see blood moving from your hand, going along the vines of these several different types of vines and branches and roots. You see the redness kind of going along, and it pulls and it pulls. How
As
long?
you're saying that, I look over to Mace. I say, I ain't doing that shit.
How long do you stay there for?
I'm kind of looking at Ophira, like, how long do I have to do this?
Okay, roll a Constitution save for me.
Okay.
Lord.
Oh, that's a check. Sorry. Save.
Yeah. Okay. It drinks and drinks, and you're starting to get kind of lightheaded, but eventually it lets go.
Oof. Rhaegar stumbles a little bit, but catches himself, and he wraps his hand.
Immediately, Mace walks over to him and says, Lathander's light, Rhaegar. What are you doing? And he'll grab him by the hand and give him a heal, a level 1.
The land is satisfied. You can pass.
Rhaegar will put a hand on Mace's shoulder, and wearily he'll say, "What I have to." Trust goes both ways, my friend.
Just sighs.
This is not anything I haven't already done.
So what do the rest of you do?
Look, it looks bad. I'm not a blood cultist, I swear.
So,
May-
did Rhaegar only lose the 7 HP, or did he lose more than that?
HP, he only lost the HP that you see. The wound on his hand is relatively minor in the grand scheme of things. It looks scary because there were a whole bunch of punctures all around his hand. He has definitely lost a lot of blood, though. It's a little bit hard to tell how much. And I mean, who knows what else might have happened? This
well,
is
he got his hit points back from Mace.
yeah, yes, he did.
And maybe, the scars or the puncture holes sealed up. I don't know.
They
That's
did.
kind of your call.
Nope, they absolutely did.
Johan's going to suggest that we let those who have been accepted take the horses across, while the rest of us, especially those of us who cannot be accepted, go through the woods.
Arisa steps up, and he is going to take this opportunity to complete the ritual.
All right. So, Oresis, you put your hand into the maw.
Mm-hmm.
It bites down on you, and let's just roll. You take 5 points of piercing damage, and you feel the blood being pulled from your body, and you see it going into the vines. You see it going quite a long way, and it's a bit disturbing to see your blood leaving in such an organic fashion. It almost seems like it's the way it's pulsing, it's drinking from you. Roll a Constitution save for me.
What in the 9 hells, Aresis?
All right. You eventually. How long do you leave your hand there for? Aresis?
Probably a medicine check on Rhaegar.
I leave it there until it seems satisfied, or Ophira tells me it's been satisfied.
Okay. Roll for me another Constitution check with disadvantage.
All right.
Okay. It's continuing to drink and drink and drink, and
Okay.
you take a 1 point in exhaustion.
He gets +5 as well for being near me for that. It's Constitution save.
That's fine.
If it makes a
He's
difference.
unfortunately he still gets a point in exhaustion from the sheer amount of blood that he's letting this plant take from him.
The DC probably is going to keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, Mace is going to try to yank him away after a little bit of time there because he thinks he's, maybe not in control.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I guess in primordial, that's enough.
So Mace, you're pulling him away. He takes another 10 points in piercing damage from being ripped out of the mouth.
All right, well, I gave him 7 back from the original 5
Okay,
from the cure wounds.
that's fine.
And as he yanks him back, he kind of just gets in his face and kind of stares right at him. What do you think you're doing?
Well, I thought this was the most effective way to get across safely without being attacked by plants in the future further.
By
Um,
letting it sap your life force?
Whatever it takes.
Well, I can tell you that I'm not going to be doing that. Johan, I will go through the woods with you.
Same.
I look at Ophira and I just say, I hope this shows you that I am worthy of even the most small amount of trust, as I have trusted you.
So Mace, with that medicine check, you. I mean, you look at Rhaegar's hand. You could definitely see that he's paler. His skin is not quite as red as it was. You see the healed puncture wounds where he had in his hand. Not really noticing anything else. I mean, I know Rhaegar asked Mace to examine him for poison or curses, but like a medicine check's not going to be able to identify a
Right.
curse. Poison, if it was like an immediate poison, yeah. You don't notice anything right now. He doesn't seem to be poisoned.
Rhaegar, I don't see anything lasting, but it's hard to tell with these kind of things. I know nothing about what just happened, but I can't tell if any lasting problems will occur. We'll just have to see.
Oh, thank you for looking over me anyway. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to go with Johan and Laktari through the woods.
That's fine. We
I
will
will
meet
let you take the cart.
Yes, we will meet you on the other side with the cart.
Okay.
Be well, my friend.
You as well.
As Rhaegar, you take the cart and you start kind of pulling it along. You do immediately notice the maw start to reach for the horses. And the horses start kind of like bucking and whinnying because they are not used to seeing such a strange thing reach out to them. Roll a animal handling check for me.
Okay. Boy. Fuck yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to calm them down. Like you kind of give like a quick pull onto the reins, and you calm down the horses with the
Natural 20.
expertise of a well-honed man who's used to working with horses.
I wonder how heavy is the cart? Because if they take the horses with them into the woods around, could I pull the cart?
You're a strong man. You can only find
Because
it.
if they take the horses, then and the horses aren't pulling the cart, then they could lead the horses through the woods.
I mean,
and
you're
they
you're
wouldn't have to
level
ride them.
yeah, you're level 9. I would say that with your strength, you could certainly pull the cart. How well you do, you'll have to roll for, but
Yeah.
it's well within your abilities to be. Oh, what's that called? The guy who pulls people on little carts around cities.
Rickshaw?
Oh, rickshaw. You could definitely be a rickshaw man.
I will mention that this is a cart, right? Not a carriage or a chariot.
Correct.
It is 200 pounds.
It's up on wheels.
On wheels, yeah.
Yeah, and I have an 18 strength. Which is pretty good.
Oh, a chariot weighs less. But costs.
So do you communicate that to the rest of your group?
Yes, I do. Aresis. Oh, you're not that strong though, are you?
You can, get out and push.
Yeah, you could probably try and help, right?
Oresis just stares at you.
I mean, I
Alright.
could help you, but it's not going to do much. But I'll try.
If
All
it
right.
was like a flat paved road, I'd say yeah, but like
Well,
this
we
is
have
a
a
rough like dirt, grassy road. I mean, that seems like a tall order. Because really,
we
you're
have
comparing his strength to a horse's strength, right?
we have Ophira with us, so it
Three of
basically
you.
translates to a paved road because she lets us move at normal pace over rough terrain, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you guys say that, I'll be like, we can take some of the, Johan and I and Mace, we can take some of the baggage out of the cart to make it lighter for you.
You're damn right. You're gonna take some of the baggage.
So I guess I would take as much as I'm physically able to carry,
Or you could put it on the horses.
I mean, there's
and,
not
and
much
we
in
can
the
saddle
carts,
the
right?
horses. Yeah, we can
No,
saddle
We
Yeah,
the
can
there's
carry
horses.
ourselves generally in it,
Yeah,
so
there's probably not really anything in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
What are
want
we
to carry
bringing the
food
cart
and
for?
stuff. It's easy
Just a-
transportation.
Yeah, it's easy transportation for all of us.
Yeah, like I could make the difficult terrain into normal terrain, but that would require my second, third level spell slot.
Johan will be riding a horse while you guide it, so he can keep an eye on people who are walking through danger land, plant land.
Okay.
One
right.
raven after the hag, one raven on the party pulling the cart, and one raven above where we're going to be walking through the woods.
Yeah, I'm more worried about you guys because I don't think anything's going to attack us in plant land because plants would probably kill anything that's not plant in plant land. So I'm more worried about party that's not in plant land.
We'll be fine.
Johann, about how far are we away from the witch?
So Johan, you guys, you haven't moved very far since that same spot, so she's about 3 to 4 miles away. At this
That's your
point,
report.
at least 2 hours, I'd say 2.5 hours of time has passed since you left Argensvossholt.
So she's moving as well then.
No, she's actually in the same general area.
Yeah, no, we just haven't moved.
We're
I
just
thought
not
we
getting
were. I
anywhere.
thought we were 4 miles away from her at Argenfall's told. So
As the raven flies, in a
uh,
straight line you were, but you
Right.
followed the roads.
So we've gone around the winding roads and up away from her. Now we're coming back down towards her.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I'll buy that for $1. All right, moving on. I'm gonna try to help push the cart. Y'all ready for this? It's gonna be great.
Da-na-na-na-na.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Eric. Your life is-
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we are. Mace is definitely on his guard.
yeah.
Nice.
I don't know why
Let's
you
Reese
would
get
have,
it.
jumps in the cart because Rhaegar's doing so well. He's like, I'm just gonna ride.
I don't know why you would have disadvantage on
I'm exhaustion level 1. Because of your
That only
plan.
affects your movement, doesn't it?
that.
No, disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Ability checks.
thirsty
Yeah.
plants.
So
Speed is level.
Oresis, like, he kind of sets himself up at the back of the cart to kind of like push. Rhaegar sets himself up at the front, and he just pulls it, and Rhesus is just kind of like getting pulled along, like flailing beside, not doing anything, while Rhaegar just kind of goes burning it down the path. And the vines actually do open and make space for you. They don't impede your way. They don't try to harm you. And no other creatures seem to come out. Rhaegar, Oresis... Yeah, Rhaegar and Oresis, please roll perception checks for me.
What, not me?
Not you, no.
Jesus, 3 in a
Holy
row for
shit.
Rhaegar.
Fuck
Ragnar
yeah.
is on a roll.
I need to go buy a lottery ticket real quick. I'll be right back.
Rhaegar, you immediately smell the profound scent of black bells, and you notice in the air around you the floating specks of what looks like pollen, or like when you blow on a dandelion that's got like seeds on it that are kind of like floating through the air.
The black spores around me.
They're actually a little bit yellow, but you smell the black bell flowers.
Uh, hmm. And I know that those are bad, right? They're poisonous.
You don't know? You actually don't know that.
Oh,
I mean, if
I
you
don't know
suspect that, that's perfectly reasonable for your character to suspect it. But you don't, as far as I recall, you don't have anything to suggest. Actually, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and roll an insight for me?
that. Insight or nature?
I'm going to ask you to roll an insight.
Okay, good. My insight's better. Oh God.
Yeah. You don't have any real you don't have anything to support you to think that they're poisonous. But if Rhaegar would be concerned about seeing them, it's perfectly acceptable for you to play Rhaegar as being concerned about them, right? Because it's a natural reaction.
Yeah, Rhaegar would be concerned because he's already on guard because these plants tried to take his blood and did in fact take his blood. So he's going to turn to Ophira and ask and say, uh, Ophira, is that natural for them to be doing that? Should I be concerned um, about these things floating in the air here?
And Rhaegar, as you ask that, and you turn to Ophira, you also notice that she herself has some of those like small little yellow specks kind of floating around her as well.
Lovely. Does she answer me or does she appear unresponsive?
No, she's right there in front of you. She hears you.
I don't think it's anything to be concerned about.
Okay. I can I insight that?
Sure.
Oh, these.
And Ophira, you can private message me whichever one you want, either persuasion or deception, whichever you think is appropriate.
I mean, it's
That's the
persuasion.
dirtiest of 20s.
She truly just doesn't think it's something to worry about.
Yeah,
Fucking filthy.
that's fine. I'll still ask you. Okay. So Rhaegar, you from your insight, you suspect that she either believes it, doesn't have any reason to think it's a problem. If anything, it almost seems like she's either unaware or just really completely nonchalant about the whole thing.
Okay. Well, Rhaegar being Rhaegar is going to trust her because he's the type of person that if he asks somebody to trust him, he is got to be willing to trust them in return. So he's going to trust her and keep going.
Great. So you guys go through the thorny veil. The rest of you circumnavigate to go through the forest. It takes you some time just to get through. I'd say we'll go with a half hour.
Also, I'm imagining like Rhaegar is hitting every single thorn, and Ophira is just happening to not run into any because thorns don't bother her anymore.
True story. So
Also, I would want to examine one of these incredibly large grapes.
sure, go for it. So you pull one, and I'd say these are about the size of a cantaloupe,
Jesus
but
Christ.
they're shaped. You know those gourds that look like they have like warts on them, like a pumpkin but with warts on it.
I got the general gist.
Yeah, it's like that, the grape. It's not a smooth flesh. As you take one, what do you do with it?
Now, immediately eating it would be dumb.
That's up to you.
I'm just gonna, I guess, like, maybe like peel a bit of the skin back, cut off a chunk, sniff it, maybe like rub some of the juice, lick it, just how identify
Okay. So,
survival check, I guess.
in order, so you cut it open, and it smells quite good. Very, very sweet. It's a very, very sweet smelling fruit. As you cut it, a lot of dark, dark purple, almost like a sap consistency seems to pour out of it a little bit, like a nectar dripping onto the ground. You taste some of it.
Squish.
Tastes like very, very sweet. Not really like grapes. It has a bit of a sour flavor to it. Very strong.
Like, just like strong sour, or like strong, this is practically wine already.
More like if you know that like slushies, they have like that syrup that goes into the slushy, like that, just like really,
Is it
really
like-
sweet, really, really sour.
It's just straight syrup, basically.
Rhaegar, yes, it does have seeds. The seeds are black.
So like a Sour Patch Kid.
Rhaegar doesn't like seeded grapes. You know,
If it's anything like the fruit that's produced from a Gulthias tree, it could be exceptionally valuable.
well, you know what? I'm gonna leave that for someone else to figure out. I'm just gonna kind of turn this into fertilizer by just dropping it on the ground.
Okay.
I'm not putting these in the cart.
Okay. um, do
So
any?
what-
Does anyone else do anything in particular? Are you actually casting an identify spell or something on that?
I don't have identify.
Yeah. I meant more like, is Johan or Arisas going to do that?
I don't. Johan and I
Johan and
have
Ari-
mage
Johan,
near it,
so-
right?
That's true. They're not even
If,
in the
if,
Yeah,
forest.
we're in the
if
woods.
someone asks Aresis, he will cast Identify on it.
I mean, you see her fiddling with it.
It's up to you, man. I don't think anyone's going to ask you to do it.
Johan will send him a message spell if he's close enough to. He'll
You'd have to be with insight.
Yeah, I think.
Porphyra, do you
Johan
want
can
me
see
to
him right now.
identify?
Do you want to identify it?
I don't have a problem at doing it. It's just, do you want me to? I mean, if we stop, it'll take me 10 minutes, or I could use a spell slot to do it now.
You don't have to stop. You can carry it.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll throw it in the cart. We'll throw it in the cart, and
I'll just toss one at you, an entire cantaloupe-sized grape.
yeah, I'll just carry one in the hand and then pretend like I'm pushing, and I'll just identify ritual cast as we're walking.
Do
All
whatever
right.
you want.
Can you link the identify spell to me?
Sure can.
All right.
They're very sweet, by the way. too sweet. Sour, really.
Okay. Using the identify spell, you... There are no spells affecting this fruit.
Well, that's already a strange thing, because there should be. Plant growth lasts a year when you cast it over 8 hours.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry, I didn't read.
Yeah. I did the enrichment version of plant growth on the...
Okay, so thank you for correcting me on that then. So you do sense the residual power of the plant growth spell. Outside of that, so you sense the enriching power of the spell, keeping the plant life flourishing.
Sure.
You do not sense any other spells on the fruits. Let's try to see here. You learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement or not.
Cantaloupe grape requires attunement.
Yeah.
Prevents plane shifting. Huh, how convenient.
Juice can be distilled. When drinking, you get stuck on the plane.
So here's what I'm going to say about this one, because it doesn't actually have any spells on it. But, Aresis, you do sense that there are some magical elements to this. It's not just a grape. There's something buried kind of deep that isn't typical. It's not really normal. If you wanted to learn what this was, then you might have to spend more time trying to identify it over the course of maybe more of a ritual than just the 1-minute cast that you would normally use.
I think he did do it as a ritual.
Yeah, 10
Oh,
minute
did you?
ritual.
Yeah, I was walking.
Okay, so you spent 10 minutes doing it. Okay.
Yes.
All right then.
You can just sit in the back of the cart and identify it. I got this.
This is also true. I am very tired too.
Rhaegar is an absolute unit.
Okay. All right, so you're holding it. It's been split open. Roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh dear God.
Here,
Okay.
Constitution saving throw.
+5.
Disadvantage.
It's not with disadvantage.
No, not with disadvantage.
No.
This is with
Oh,
checks,
you're
not
right.
saves.
You're right. So it's a
You have to
16.
be
16
a lot
plus
closer.
5 is 21.
You have to be a lot closer to death for that.
Yeah, so Cloak of Protection, Rhaegar's Aura. So that's 7, so it's 16, right? I'm not missing anything?
Oh,
Correct.
You already have Rhaegar's Aura.
All right. Okay. So, over the time that you are focusing on this, and you're sitting in the back of the cart, and you're just kind of like drearily just focusing, taking some deep breaths, some of the sap kind of gets on your skin a little bit, and you don't really worry about it, but you say, oh, whatever, like there's something going on here. And doing the identify spell, you notice the spores that are in the air. You can feel this link. The identify spell helps highlight these things. And you see hundreds of them inside the sap itself, like microscopic. And you see them in the same air around you as well. The identify spell tells you the following things. The spores act as a seed that can only grow inside a person. The only way that they can be grown, though, is for the body to be in some form of stasis and within the earth. Over the course of the 10 minutes, like you're learning these properties as you're sitting there, and you realize that each time someone seems to take in these spores, they might be compelled to roll an Arcana check for me.
This is at disadvantage. Still pretty good.
You realize that this is something that would cause someone. It links up with their mind somehow. It affects how they think. It changes their behavior. If any of you have ever watched Planet Earth, and you watched those episodes about the ants that climb up stalks and then things grow out of their head, like zombie ants.
Cordyceps.
Thank you. And Oresis, in a flash of insight between the Identify spell and that Arcana check, you realize that these spores put people to sleep. Not only do they put people to sleep, they then seem to need to be in the earth to grow, to sprout. These are parasitic spores, but can only be activated when someone is in the earth and in a form of stasis, in a form of sleep. And you think back to several nights ago when you were found along with, I believe, Laktari, buried within the earth.
It's all making sense. This is funny stuff right here.
And so that is what you learn.
Excellent.
Now,
Good to know.
I will also say that at this point, Johan, you lose track of Morgantha. She is no longer within your sense of where on this material plane, from what you can tell. One moment she was there, and then the next moment she was gone. About 3 hours have passed since you left the castle. It's about noon, I would say. Noon to 1 o'clock.
Johan is going to ritual cast Phantom Steed, and he's going to ride ahead.
Okay, so you jump off the steed that you're on. You guys all see him cast another spell, and he speeds off down the path.
I look over at Mace. I'm like, well, looks like it's just you and I guess. We were following Johan, weren't we?
Yeah, I guess we just keep going this way.
I mean, so Ophira was leading the other group and knows where we're at, or knows where they're at, and Johan was our guy.
Occasionally checks in with them. He's got we can guide through two groups together.
Okay.
So Mace and I wait. So is there a raven or something?
Yeah, you follow the raven.
So I guess I look at Mace and I'd be like,
mimicry. They can mimic certain words, and so occasionally you can hear it say follow, 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 follow.
We follow this creepy bird yelling at us, Mace.
I guess so. I don't know what else to do.
You can hunt some wolf.
Well, let's follow the bird for now.
Okay.
Do we have 2 horses? Or is it 2 horses or 1 horse?
I think you had 2 horses.
Yeah, we had 2.
Well, I grabbed the reins of one, and Mace, you grabbed the other.
Well, they've got the cart going down the path, and we're in the woods.
We got the horses, though, don't we?
No.
Yes, you do.
Yes, we have the horses, Mace.
Oh, okay.
Because the
Oh, that's right. Yes.
the plants were trying to eat the horses.
Yeah.
So you decide maybe we shouldn't just give them away.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll just keep pulling the horses along.
I'm gonna trudge along with them. Is there any danger out here that we're worried about, or are we just kind of just bumbling through the woods?
That's your call.
I don't know where I'm at, so I am bumbling through the woods following a crow that's yelling at me.
Okay, so you guys are literally just racing down this path, following
No.
Johann.
I'm chill walking.
Okay,
No, we're not running.
okay. So Johann is rushing ahead.
To within a mile of where Morgantha was, so that he can get eyes on it.
Yeah. Basically, Johann, you arrive at Yester Hill. You arrive at the base of the hill where you guys had your battle before, and you know that this was like the general area of where she was. Not necessarily the hill itself, but yeah, like I'd say like a mile radius before she disappeared. I'll give it, actually, you know, I'll say like a mile diameter. And so you rush up, and we can switch over to the map. Actually, I should still have it here. Where are you hiding?
You have to hold your push to talk when you burp.
I don't have push to talk on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Where's Yester? There's Yester Hill. All right. Sorry, I wasn't expecting you guys to come here today, so I have to bring it back up. There's Yester Hill. Where's my other Yester Hill? There you are.
Always expect the unexpected.
I wish. All right, let's get rid of all of these guys.
And I do believe we removed the stone from the giant.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, that was one of the power stones Ophira took possessions of, I believe.
Yeah.
You're a token.
So, Johann, like you rush up, and we'll get rid of this thing as well. Oh, it's on a different element. Let's get rid of that. There we go. You get there, and the lightning is no longer crashing down on the stones like it used to be. Roll a perception check for me. Currently, you are on your own. Okay. You look around and you don't see any sign of Morgantha. You're on the top of the hill. You can't quite see past the stones, but like you do see that there is like forest along the edges. Yeah, you cast invisibility, and with that perception check, you do not see any invisible creatures. You can see into the ethereal plane, and you do not notice anything of note, really.
Advantage, given that I'm also looking from above in like a couple of different places.
Well, for the invisibility, you can only see it through your own eyes. I don't think. Oh,
Would
that's
they
a
have
bit
my
weird,
familiar?
actually, isn't it? I'm trying to think of how that would work with your familiars. Your familiars don't share your senses. You share their senses. So I'll give you the advantage on the perception check. Sure, I'm fine with that. But for the invisibility, I'm going to say that unless you can find me a rule that says otherwise, it's just in the area that your body can see. So within the ring of these stones, if you want to go on top of
Then
stones,
I'm
so
going to
definitely.
cast see invisibility on the raven.
Okay, sure.
By being able to, cast spells through your familiar.
It's a self-only spell.
Self only?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, target self.
But you can, like, if you want, like, you can still, like, go up higher onto the stones, and I'll give you, like, a broader spectrum of vision. Just like right now, inside that ring, you can't see outside of it. Still a very large space, though. Like, just this battlefield, you don't see anything. There's no more lightning, Rhaegar. There's no more lightning. But yeah, for at least for the moment, you don't see any signs of anything. And actually, since we're adjusting your perception, I will say you notice that the bodies that were here, that you guys had left behind, are no longer here. they've been removed. Now, that was a few days ago, and if you'll give me a moment, where's my Evernote? There it is. I'll tell you how long it was. Let me just pull this up. Vlaki, Kresk, Wizards of the Wine, Yesterday, as we go, Yesterhill. So that was about a week ago that you were last here. What would you like to do? You've traveled quite quickly. The rest of your group, I mean, you don't know how long it'll be before they get to you, but the last pace that you saw them is going to be probably, I mean, I'd say a half hour since they're trying to be careful. At least a half hour.
He's gonna call out Morgantha.
Okay. Roll a performance for me. And you use any spells to amplify the volume of your voice.
I do not have that capability.
That's unfortunate. Okay. Roll a performance for me. All right. What do you say?
He's just calling out her name.
Okay.
You know, it's just me.
The rain splatters down onto your cloak. The cold doesn't affect you. You feel the water as kind of like an abstract feeling. Kind of like when your hand is numb, you can feel the pressure of things, but you don't feel the sensation. And all you hear is just the breathing of your mount, the wind and the rain. No one answers. And your invisibility, I mean, that lasts, or your sea invisibility lasts for an hour. So for the duration that you're doing this, you don't see anything.
I guess I'll just investigate the place and try and get some idea of what she was doing there.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an investigation.
Jesus Christ, guys.
Oof.
I've been rolling ones. Rhaegar stole my shit.
The
Listen,
four.
don't blame it on me, all right?
What's the +5 for? Could you remind me?
I don't have a +5.
I have you as a 1 +4 +5.
What are you talking about?
You rolled a 10?
That
Intelligence?
would be from mods.
Yeah.
4 proficiency and 5 in intelligence.
Ah, I see. That's why. Thank you. Okay. I mean, you search the battlefields. You don't actually see any really notable tracks. You go to check out where the former statue was. It's been moved around. It looks like some people have messed around with it, but it's kind of hard to tell what exactly they did. Where there used to be other bodies, I mean, they're just not there anymore. They probably were dragged off, but a week's passed and you are not a tracker. Unfortunately, you can't glean much information. You don't notice any signs of Morgantha.
All right. I'll keep on going up the hill then,
Okay,
where the big tree used to be.
sure. What did you guys do with that tree again? Did you actually burn it down? I feel like you did attack it. I just can't recall that far back.
We
I
burned it.
gave up after a while.
Pablo used
We
a
tried
lot
to.
of firebolts to burn that down.
We burned it to the roots.
Right, you burned it to
Yes,
the roots.
Aris assisted in the burning of objects.
Okay,
He likes that kind of thing.
fair enough. Okay,
But as far as I know, the roots are still alive. So
yeah. So you get up there. Now I think Johan, I think this is the first time you've been here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've never been here before. Okay.
Yeah, he's just wandering around. I don't think he's ever been here at
You
all.
haven't. Yeah, no, you haven't.
He's
So,
just following the path.
so actually, you never even knew that there were bodies here. You would have no reason to think this is just like a field where there's a collapsed statue. Yeah, you never even knew that there was a battle here. Okay, so you continue walking down, and you can see the path continues up towards the top of the hill. And you get up there, and you see. I should still have a picture, but it might have been put away. Let's see here. Do I have it? The tree. Where's the tree? There it is. So can you guys all see that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Hello, tree.
You get to the top of the mountain, and there's this. You see these big black roots and this twisted bark of a tree. You can clearly see that there have been quite a bit of burn marks on the upper branches. You see some new sprouts coming up from it, and you can also see kind of a hovel on the side. It's quite a large tree, several widths around. It would take 10, a dozen people holding arm in arm to actually wrap around this tree.
And there's a hollow in the side of the tree, or there's a hovel by the tree.
Kind of a hollow.
He's looking for any type, signs of habitation, because it seems as though, the hags, if they do settle in some place, they do seem to at least put a roof over their heads.
Yeah, yeah. So as you approach it, roll another investigation for me. Oh my god.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh my god. You get there, and you notice skulls. Just like heaps and heaps of skulls inside this hollow.
He's pumping it from every other game I play. My bards are just gonna pile inspirations.
That's literally 3 fails in a row for him. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's rough.
The performance was a 4.
Dang
At
it,
this
Rhaegar.
point, I will say the rest of you who are on horseback arrive at Yester Hill.
We're not on horseback in the cart, so.
No, you guys are. Did you guys communicate at all with the rest of them, by the way?
No, Jan took off.
Yeah.
He led 2 people with the horses. We're still just
We're on
walking.
Rhaegar's back.
Yeah, so-
they've got a raven too, so
That's fine. But I'm just kind of wondering, like, what are you guys thinking that you just haven't seen the rest of your party for a little bit?
Just a raven saying follow, and when we don't know that anything has happened with Johan isn't going to make us hurt at all.
So another 4.
Okay. So Mace and Lakhtari, you guys, with the Raven organizing, there you go. You guys arrive at the base of Yester Hill, following the Raven, and you guys also reach the middle of the battlefield. You don't see Johan anywhere. What are you checking, Ophira?
I mean, if he sent a raven to screech at us, I was going to see maybe if something's wrong or if this is just a pointless reminder that we're going this way.
I mean, I don't get the impression that Johan would be like frantically trying to get you to hurry up. I think he would just be continuing to lead you towards where he is. I mean, unless you feel otherwise, Johan, like...
I don't know what limits you can make familiars speak with.
Yeah, I know that they can kind of mimic, but these are like brand new crows.
Yeah. And speaking through a familiar is a higher level warlock invocation. So
Are you trying to get them to hurry up, or are you just like trying to guide them?
Then get into, the bird is supposed to be trying to find a way to get them to fan out and look for this hag somehow.
Okay.
Well, we know that this is the area where she's supposed to be, right? Or do
In
we not know
general, yeah. You know that she was in this direction, this general area.
Well, then Rhaegar would probably definitely be on high alert.
Trying to figure out if Ophira would make them hurry up or if they're going to keep at their normal pace they've been going at. Because that's going to change when they arrive.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say that the bird is clearly trying to communicate something to you. It's calling at you. It's kind of like flying close and flying away, flying close, flying away. And like the whole, like, what is it, Sally? Is Timmy in the well? You guys make the connection that something's probably up. Oh. Okay, let's see here. This is like spell on top of spell. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Sure. You're able to communicate with the raven.
What's it called?
It's telling you the words that it's able to communicate. So the hag, gone, look, kill. Hag, gone, look, kill. Hag, gone. Shiny, look, kill.
All right. I'm gonna... Are we at the other edge of the Wizards of Wines yet?
Yes, so you definitely are, yes. You guys have definitely... You made it faster across the Rivers of Wine. It's just that once you got to the road, they're gone already.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, just leave the cart, and then to the Raven, just lead me to Johan.
All right. And it'll fly off. I assume Johan will have the bird fly towards him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna start running off, follow it.
Okay. Rhaegar and Oresis, you see Ophira run down the path, sprinting with incredible agility.
When ultimate say, when she's speaking to the bird, it is incomprehensible to people. Like bird trills and calls and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly how birds speak. So
Rhaegar calls after her. Ophira, what's happening?
And she's gone.
Well, hearing the ravens repeating the words, Reese is gonna start thinking. And by the way, Reese would share the information about the sports with everybody eventually. He might not have shared it with just you and Afir, but he's probably just waiting to share it with everyone one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But knowing that Morgantha can go to the ethereal plane, and pretty much at will, and seems check. So I have a potion of invisibility. Does that put me on the ethereal plane?
Absolutely
No.
not.
No. Okay.
there's a potion of etherealness.
No. I was just curious because I saw that see invisible lets you see on the ethereal plane, which was
it's
kind of an interesting caveat. So I was curious.
always confused me why see invisibility lets you do that. Though I suppose just so they wouldn't have to make two spells.
Yeah.
Two different.
So, I mean, the only thing that he can really do is he's gonna take a shot in the dark, and see if Morgantha just happens to be within 120 feet of him, and he's going to cast Dispel Magic.
Can you link the text for that?
Yes.
With choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. I'm
You have
going
to choose
to
the magical
infer.
effect.
I feel like that doesn't work across planes.
I think
So
you'd probably
go ahead.
have to detect magic first, and if you detected something, then you could target it. But you have to be able to target it.
Yeah, I have to look at detect magic. I even wonder, like, if it's someone's on a completely different plane than you, I would suspect that you wouldn't be able to detect it.
It depends on the flavor of what it is she's doing. If she's fully going into the ethereal plane or simply stepping partially into it.
All right, you can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. See a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic.
Because if she's like fully transporting to a different plane, this detect magic would not detect her.
Yeah, you can definitely do it, Arisis, just as like on a lark, but I feel that if Arisis knew that she was in the ethereal plane, he would know that the spells he's using would not be likely to be effective for the purposes of what you're achieving. But yeah, like if she was nearby, you could certainly at least sense magic within 30 feet of you, and if you could find her, then Dispel Magic could certainly be helpful.
That was the best thing I could try to reach for to try to pull her back because I just don't have any kind of spell that.
Yeah, like I want to give this to you guys, but like my reading of this suggests to me that like these are both applicable to like the material plane and not cross planes.
I think the only way that it would apply is if she was having to hold a concentration or something in order to keep herself in the ethereal plane, which I don't really think that that's how it works with the Night Hags.
Yeah, it's not, no. Okay, so what are you doing, Arisis?
I'm out of tricks.
No more rope trick for Arisis. He just lays his head back down on the cart and thinks. And Rhaegar starts shouting for Mace and Loktari. Actually, you know what? Let's just go quickly back to Mace because Mace and Loktari did arrive in there. Mace, you get to the Ring of Stones, and you don't see anyone. You do see, with that, you see the tracks of Johann's horse. And you're kind of they're very, very fresh, so you do see it kind of going through the path. And we'll just go back to that map just so we can all be together. With that investigation, you do notice again the bodies that you had left behind are no longer there. You don't notice much else, but you notice that at least the bodies are no longer present. And you don't see any grave sites. Loktari, roll a perception for me. Okay. You are, since you're kind of like behind Mace, and Mace is the one who's kind of like pushing ahead, and you're being a bit more cautious, you are just barely able to hear Rhaegar calling out your name. And turning around, you see Ophira booking it down the path following this raven.
I'll howl over at Mace. Like, Mace, sounds like they need us back there.
Well, Ophira is running towards us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We'll see what Ophira has to say.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Of course.
So, before when Morgantha was in the ethereal plane, but she was messing with us, was she using a spell that was able to cross that plane?
She was using a feature of the Night Hags. It's a specific feature that they have that allows them to interact across the ethereal plane.
Gotcha. So there's really nothing that ties her down to her home plane.
Not that you know of.
Right. Okay. I was just thinking, like, I'm trying to think how she has to be tied down somehow. There's gotta be a way to catch her in a mousetrap. I just don't know what the mousetrap's made of yet. That's fine.
Okay.
Just curious.
Well, you know what, Recess? Roll a intelligence check for me.
That's pretty good for disadvantage.
It is. So, Oresis, you remember that when you had her in your claws, that before she disappeared, she reached into her cloak. And you know enough about magic that you realize that people can't just transition between dimensions willy-nilly. Like, there's a couple of spells out there that can let you briefly blink in and out, but anything that allows you to really transport your body a bit more permanently requires a tool of some kind. Whether it's a tuning fork or some kind of special wand, or you need something more than just sheer willpower. It needs an extra ingredient. You don't know what that would be, but you know enough that for all of your studies, you need something extra. And so she probably has something on her person that lets her do this.
Right. Something that anchors her to the ethereal realm. Very well. Now, how do I get that ability? Give me more XP, Eric. Do it. Couple more levels. Let's see, you problem.
Look, I could have metagamed and become a Horizon Walker Ranger and been really good at doing this, but decided not to.
Maybe next time. Okay, so you thought that. Mace, you see them coming up towards you. I would say that Rhaegar pulling the cart will probably join you guys in maybe like 10 minutes or so, because he is pulling a cart uphill with Laktari in it, so it's going to take him a little bit of time.
I did tell them to
No,
just
I'm
leave
not in the cart.
Oh, did you leave the cart?
I told them to just leave it, and then just ran off.
But did he?
She
not-
sure
oh,
did.
I-
I didn't.
That's what I thought. I was like, but would Rhaegar have done that though?
When I get up to Yesterhill, I'm gonna just, don't see Johan. I'm gonna have my companion give me advantage on a tracking check.
Sure. Go ahead and roll survival.
Survival advantage because my companion's gonna help me.
Yeah. Okay. You definitely can clearly see the tracks heading through the rings out the other side. And I mean, you've been here before. You make a very educated guess that he's probably headed towards the Gulthias tree. I will, Rhaegar.
I'm just gonna tell everyone around that to follow me and then just start heading there.
Rhaegar, it's going to take her a little bit of time to do that check, so I'd say you get to the rings just as you see the rest of them like exiting the other side. Roll a strength check for me, by the way. You just climbed up a rather steep hill, pulling a cart that's 200 pounds with your
guys
friend
are
inside of it.
Absolutely confusing me with this cart.
Oh yeah,
Rhaegar.
baby.
He is the Lux Sink. He's just sucking it all out.
Rhaegar just keeps on trucking, and he is the...
You guys look behind you and you just see a cloud of like dust and gleaming armor. And I'm coming. I'm coming.
I look and I
He's
beheld
shouting
the
the name of the Morning Lord as he goes.
instead
I'm
of me
coming. The
holding a
dawn
pale,
has arrived.
instead of a rider on a pale horse, it's an empty cart with a shining horse.
Oh, okay, so
And I am
Moving
pissed.
through the snow, I am gonna be pulling out my longbow.
that's fine. Then we'll transition over to the tree. And the rest of you come upon um, Johann, who is just standing in front of the tree, looking pretty frustrated, looking around at the surrounding landscape. And I'll let you guys pick up from there.
You've done her magic trick yet again.
There's no way to track her, huh?
Give me a moment. Johann is going to cast Blink,
Okay.
and when he's in the ethereal plane, he's going to try and get a beat on her.
Oh, okay. All right. So, can you just link the text for Blink, please?
I'm so out of spells, guys. It's ridiculous.
All right. So this is for 1 minute. 11 or higher. Okay. And you spend, I guess just 6 seconds in there, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it lasts for a minute. I'll say that you get 30 seconds worth of time in there. And okay, I'm gonna move you guys over to the Barovia map. Okay, so if you guys are here and you've traveled all that distance,
This is what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
Because I'm going to say, Arisis, stay with me. And as I go,
Mhm.
as I sense her, I'm casting Dimension Door directly in her direction
Okay, sure.
every time it happens. And I'm going to say, uh, uh, get ready to cast your magic to trap her.
Okay, now
Okay.
how many times can you cast Dimension Door?
And how many times can he cast it?
Well, I can cast it 3 times.
So we're going to try and
Okay, hold on. I need to do some math here for a second because I don't know your crazy American measurements. So give me 1 second here.
So 1,600 meters is kilometer.
Okay, so 1 mile has 5,000 feet.
Oh my god.
And your Dimension Door can travel 500 feet. So I need you guys to tell me how many times you can cast Dimension Door.
I can cast
6
it 3
together.
times.
So you can do it
6
3
together.
times, and Johan can, so total of 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's without upcasting it.
Well,
Okay.
I'll say that with them casting that 6 times, they could travel roughly 1,000 meters.
Yeah. Well, no,
If
1,000
that
feet. Oh, 1,000 meters. Sorry.
1,000 meters.
Yeah, so 3,000 feet, 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Travel a total of kilometer.
Okay, so then it's
About.
1 minute, which means, and you can cast it 1 minute divided by six rounds, right? Am I crazy
10
here?
rounds.
10 rounds.
10 rounds.
So you get 5 rounds, which is 30 seconds worth of time. Okay. So what I'll tell you is that when you first do this, so Johan, you are standing where you are, you blink into the ethereal realm. You get a fix on her direction and her distance. She is, I'm pinging on the map now, over here.
She's like way far.
That is It's about 2 to 3 miles
Okay.
away from
so,
you.
So there's no way that we can catch her.
Yeah,
Oh, she's so fast.
she's not that fast. The thing is that when you guys lost track of her, you were still like, I think you were like right over here, and if
Yeah.
I have double checked, you were at least 1 or 2 miles away from that space. And like, I mean, I can tell you guys this now. It's not going to change anything. Like, she was already here. Like from the get-go, she was there.
Right.
And so she's only traveled maybe like another mile since you disappeared. But you guys have been like moving for a little while. And it's taken you time to do searching. And so like I'd say she's at least 2 miles away right now. So with that information, Johan,
Like she's going, because we're not going to do it if we can't catch her.
okay, so you get the sense like she's 15,000 feet away, or 10 to 15,000 feet away, and she's in this general direction here.
Is in that direction.
Yeah.
But we can extrapolate, the nearest town or location where we think she could be going, and that would give us a direction to go.
I mean, that's where the mists are. You know, she can't go much further past that point. I don't think that she can leave.
Well,
Yeah,
if she
only things...
she was here, and now she's
Got
here.
She's moving around the plants.
She's moving around the plants.
Towards Crest. Or the tower. That's the only other thing in that area. Because Kresk is like right in this vicinity.
It's right here.
We've got the tower sitting right here.
Okay, but the swamp has also been. Where's the swamp?
Way over here. Way over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Over the mountain.
So it's not like she's trying to avoid the swamp. She could have gone through these woods like we did, but she chose not to.
Yeah. So I'll just give me a second. So for 30 seconds, 30 seconds worth of time. I mean, okay. I think in 30 seconds that you have to track her, especially since you're focusing so intently on her, you can tell that she's heading north, for right now at least.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not going to use Dimension Door, he could keep casting Blink to it, just using higher slots. Like, periodically, we can start heading a direction, and he can periodically, if he doesn't center, try to use Blink, go in the ethereal plane sensor, and we can just track her that way.
I mean, yeah. There's only so many spell slots that I have, and Eric can use up 2 of my spell slots for sending. So.
Oh, for sending.
Yeah, last session.
But you cast. Oh right, you cast Ascending to the sister.
Like,
that's right. That's right.
She was like, "Where?" And I was like,
"Right.
I have to cast it again." So I'm completely out of second and third level spell slots at the moment.
Oh, you didn't take a short rest to adapt because you're working with the Ravens.
But at this point I don't need them because I was using them to look for her.
Right.
And to keep
you
everybody
use
together.
Level slots though.
All right.
I can.
So Mace is kind of oblivious to what is going on.
Yes.
So he is going to say, What are we doing? What's the plan? Is she here?
She's gone far away into the woods. It looks as though she's headed north, to the left to the west, I should say, of the farm, so that she can avoid the plants. It is likely that she's heading to Kresk. I can only see her when I transport into the other dimension briefly. But it does not appear as though she's going too quickly.
By the way, Johan, I'm going to
Right.
give you inspiration for a very clever use of Blink to try and track her down. So mark that down on your sheet. Very, very clever.
Yeah, you need it. Mace is going to say, well, maybe we should hook the horses back up to the cart and race to Kresk as fast as we can. Maybe we can get ahead of her.
Just imagining Rhaegar arriving and basically like, okay guys, turn it all around.
Rhaegar, flip the cart around. It'll be easy for the horses to get hooked up.
I just thought of the most
he's-
chaotic, evil thing to do.
He's gonna have to pull it back through the road.
No, we're gonna race through the path.
What?
He
I
said,
don't think that's a
what
good idea.
I think we need to hurry.
I don't think that's a good idea.
All right, Rhaegar, start pulling the cart back.
Oh my god.
Jesus. What is this session right now? Like, we are off the rails.
Okay. I'm gonna hide in the cart. Can I try and do that? Can you guys cover me up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
not a good idea either.
okay. So yeah. So 14. Hopefully it passes the passive perception of
Excuse me, sorry.
of the things, and we'll sally up the phantom steed to the cart, and you
With
can
our horse.
you can ride the horses through the daggone trees, but that way he doesn't have to pull the thing, because I think at this point, even with critical success, he's going to start getting exhaustion.
Makes sense.
I agree. That's probably. I guess Mace will hand Lakhtari the reins to one of the horses. Say, "Can you ride?"
Yeah.
Well, then we should ride back through the forest from whence we came and hurry on to
Just-
Kresk.
I'm so confused about what's going on. Like, because we just got here and all we see is like Johan like teleporting around or whatever.
From when I cast Speak with Animals, how long has it been?
Oh, it's been a little while. I'd say easily 30, 45 minutes.
Okay, I just wanted to
Easily.
make sure.
How long does that last for? Oh, 10 minutes? Yeah. It's definitely passed.
I could ritual cast that and talk to the horses and tell them where to go, but we seem to be in a rush,
I
so
mean, we actually did communicate. I mean, Mace just asked Johan where she was at, and he said where she was going, so we know she's heading in the direction of Kresk. So he's just spitballing an idea.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like he didn't know. He just asked Johan, and he told him. So he's like, maybe we should race back.
I'm good. Yeah. I mean,
Okay. So, but Johan doesn't know about the tree or anything else that's going on here. So, but you guys probably would have noticed. I don't know. Would you have noticed? Because Johan's been distracting the new sprouts on the tree.
You guys, if someone wants, they can roll a perception with disadvantage. Because I agree, like, you guys are kind of laser focused. Oh wow, of course you get equal. Yeah, Ophira, you notice that there are some new black iron sprouts coming from the base or the trunk of the tree. I don't know if you're really going to act on that, but
Yeah,
you do
not
notice.
right now I would, but everyone else seems to be up in arms about other things.
Mm-hmm.
And relationship with the party is questionable at most right now, so Not gonna rock that boat right now.
I wonder if she casts her magic, the little sprouty spell on the Gulthias tree, if her god will just like consume the Gulthias.
I mean, there's only one way to find out.
That's scary. That's totally scary.
I have that spell once a day. I do have to remember that is technically still a separate ability.
We need to sacrifice a wolf or something.
We just lay down in that hollow in the tree real quick, take a little nap.
So what are you guys doing? Because I feel like half of the party is like, okay, go, 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 and the other half's like, what's going on?
Waiting for action to be taken, really.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
Johann,
riding back to the woods again to where we came from.
yeah, Johann hitches up his phantom steed to the cart and hides in the cart.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like we're running back to Crest now.
Yeah, I mean it's not a living thing, so I don't think the plants would want to eat it.
As Mace rolls away, I say, we should just went to Crest all from the beginning of the day. It would save a lot of time and effort. And we're off. And we're off.
Well, you guys go with the cart to Kresk with this ghost horse. I will lead the other horses around and then deal with them after we are past the winery.
Won't the plants want to eat me if I go through the
Well,
path?
you and Mace have to ride on the horses.
Yeah, I thought you just said that take the horses and we all go in the cart, and I'm like, but I gotta go with the horse.
Yeah. Laktari and Mace have to go with the horses on the outside, and
Yeah, but Ophira can lead us. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Ophira's gonna lead us so you don't get lost.
that's probably a good idea.
Just the thing is, if we're going around, even on horses, your ghost horse is still gonna be faster. And there's no way for them to get back onto the cart then, unless you fully just stop and wait.
Yeah, we'll wait for you.
All right, let's go.
And we go.
Okay. So you guys start heading back down the path. How fast does your phantom horse go again?
It can go 100 feet per round.
Wow. Okay. You guys are just flying down this thing. You guys are going as fast as you can. Is that right?
I'm not gonna break an axle.
Okay. So maybe not quite as fast as you can go, because it is still like a muddy, like rough-shod trail. It's like you can definitely go down it, but it's gonna take some work. But you can make short work of the distance. I'd say maybe only like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, just to get back to the land where the Wizards of Wine are. Are you guys doing anything else during this time?
Power nap.
Johann's still keeping an eye out with the ravens until he runs out of them.
So just to so have you recast that? Because you
There
that was a
two
concentration
castings,
spell.
So there was 2 castings, but he's not going to recast it as soon as it runs out. He's not recasting it.
Okay, so you cast See Invisibility, that was not concentration. You cast Blink, that's not concentration. I think, let me just think now. You're probably getting to the end of the familiar spell at this point, so by the time you get back to the Wizards of Wine, you're going to have to either cast it again, or you're going to have to drop the concentration for the familiars.
Yeah, he'll drop it, and just to make sure that the plants aren't going to be coming after him or something.
Okay. So you've dropped your spell. You guys get down to there, and who's going around and who's pulling the cart?
Steed's pulling the cart. the Phantom Steed.
Mm-hmm.
Laktari and Mace are on horseback with Ophira leading them through the forest.
Okay.
Everybody else is
Ares-
in the cart that I know of.
Yeah.
Aresis, do you say anything about the spores before we go back in?
Nope, didn't have time.
All right.
Okay. For the people who are staying on the cart, so that is going to be, oh my gosh, Johan and Rhaegar and Aresis.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to give me Constitution saving throws.
All right.
Jesus.
Johan.
The hell was that? 28.
How do you get a +10? I love it.
Where did the +10 come from? You have a...
Sure.
Sorry?
I mean, he's got a 20 Constitution, and he's got resilience for Constitution saves.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes sense then.
So my intelligence is a +9.
I was gonna say, like, holy crap. Okay.
I don't like losing concentration.
No, that's
And then
great.
it's
That's
actually
smart.
more.
That's smart.
It's actually more because of me. If you would get +5 to that.
Okay.
So
You
it's
guys.
35, which means the spores land on him, and they say, "Oh, holy shit, I gotta go away."
Or they say, "Oh
He's
yeah,
already
this
dead.
is the good stuff right here. This is the real fertile land."
That good stuff. It's already dead.
All right, you guys make it through. It's a ghost horse. Can the ghost horse be hurt in any way?
It absolutely can be hurt, and if it takes any damage at all, it begins to disappear over the course of a minute.
I mean, if you left the ghost horse pulling the cart, then it's going to get attacked by the lamprey vines. So,
Can I try and dodge them?
I mean, you're in the bottom of the
That's
cart,
AC,
man.
right?
You're not doing anything about it. You can't even see what's going on around you.
I mean, somebody's leading the horse, so
Yeah.
whoever's got the reins.
Aresis.
I mean, either lead the horse through the woods, or if you're going through, you see the plants are reaching towards the horse, Aresis.
Okay. In that case, he would have to take some evasive maneuvers to prevent the hitting of said horse.
You would have to go into the woods.
No way to just try to.
No,
bob
I
and
mean,
weave.
even if it gets hit, it's still up for a minute. It just begins to disappear. So it would just run as fast as it can until it, essentially, it would from here to here, dashing on that horse. Would they be able to get it in a minute?
Oh yeah, I mean, like in a minute, like it could cover a very long distance for sure. But like it would probably die by the time it gets to the end of it.
Okay, so it's gonna exasperate itself, and it's gonna go right around then, and then we're gonna have a runaway cart, and we gotta figure out how we survive.
All right, so
Rhaegar, so that'll be
assuming that Johan can control this beast, suddenly it just starts pulling as fast as it can through this brush, and Aresis, you are just kind of like getting pulled along for the ride at this point. Again, almost reminiscent like with what happened with Rhaegar, just getting dragged along through the mud. And as it slowly starts to disappear, I'm going to ask you to do a dexterity save to try and catch the cart before it gets crushed into splinters. 15.
Ooh.
Now, you
shitty
can...
roll.
I am going to ask you to roll again because you have... Oh, it's a save. You're fine with saves. All right, you are able to catch the cart just barely and maintain the balancing act of being a rickshaw carrier.
Huzzah.
And as all of you meet back up on the other side of the Wizards of Wine, and you start to hook yourselves up again, I think we can stop our session there.
You want to know what I just thought of?
What happened to the ghost horse?
I could have polymorphed into a horse and could just pull this out myself.
Save the slot.
I think we're gonna need it.
No, you only polymorph into crab.
Crab could have pulled.
Yeah, I know. It would have been
That
awesome.
crab you could have put that whole thing on the crab's back.
Hell yeah.
I think Loctari and Mace spent the whole session in confusion.
We're just riding through the woods, man.
Yeah.
You gotta try and get them ranger class perks right there.
It would have been really cool if that like combo dimension door covering 3,000 feet would have worked for you though. I'm a little curious what you would have done once you caught up with her, but that would have been really cool to see.
I know exactly what
Would
it
have killed her, obviously. I mean, come on.
No. So the plan was, if I hadn't, I couldn't have really done much because without, since I spent all my wad on that sending. But the goal is to get trapped in the enclosed space with her.
Oh, the Wall of Force? Okay.
With Wall of Force, and then blink, and then hold a spell, like hold an action to cast Faithful Hound while I'm in the ethereal plane.
You can see within range.
In the center of the space. So if she doesn't come into the material plane, she's going to get shredded by the hound.
Oh, that would have been an interesting combo. And it's not concentration, so yeah, it's not like you would lose the spell while you're not in the ethereal plane.
So then I threw a fireball in her inside the thing just 3 times. Just
Well, why would you do that? We would all be in there with her.
Yo,
Hey.
the Wall of Force, Organtha. I've got you for 10 minutes of fun.
Yeah.
We've been. This is what we've been doing for like the past however many months, Eric. Planning ways.
Hey, you guys! I know you guys have been working on this hag for a while now. You'll get her eventually. You've got a good strategy for tracking her down. It's just resource intensive.
Well, it's just we
Meanwhile,
gotta
Mace and I are just totally
kill all
confused
of them.
riding horses.
Well, the solution to our resource problem is just for me and Johan to start writing scrolls of Blink and Dimension Door.
Let's just take a month off of the campaign and go around and gather resources.
Hey, I've got 390 gold. I can make a lot of spell scrolls, okay?
You guys do that, and I will enact my plan of gathering refugees and turning our Argenbus Holt into a war camp that we can use against Strahd.
What
And
could
that's
go wrong?
hilarious, because Mace has 0 gold.
Mace should have gold. I don't know what happens to all of Mace's gold. We have distributed gold equally throughout this campaign.
I have missed that. Yeah.
He never annotated it.
Oh yeah, no,
The gold has disappeared.
It always ends up in the chat box. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, seriously, mate, you should have money. We found a bunch of stuff in a treasure chest.
Yeah, but I didn't. I guess I missed when it was split up because I
Did
didn't.
you donate to Lathander again, Mace?
I did. Damn it!
You just buried it in the ground.
Seriously, there's like 1,000 gold. You can't lose like 200 gold.
All right. Well,
We don't have that much.
I just imagine Johan going up to Mace and like pulling out his abacus, like, "Hey, look, Mace, we're going to talk about savings and accounting. You need to save for your future."
well, Well, to be honest, Mace isn't really the sharpest tool in the shed, so he
We're aware,
really
Yeah,
can
what
try.
I was just thinking about.
but you are the sharpest bit of cannon fodder we got. So
There you go. All right, guys, I gotta go to work in the morning, so
You know,
thank you very much for the session. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Right
there
on.
is
Blast.
a small addendum to your wall
Bye,
of
Don.
force plan that I could mention.
Take care, Don.
Yep. Good night.
and
Right.
what might